guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today in the Ask SSM video series, going to go over part 5 or the final update to a pretty popular video I covered like 5 or 6 months ago, which was titled, I just learned that my cousin is marrying a party gal who I repeatedly hooked up with 2 years ago. And as a recap, because again it's been 6 months since the very first video and 5 months since the 4th video in this series, that's about the guy who wrote in, a guy who's been following me for a while. He's in the military, and he was coming back home for his cousin's wedding. Now, his younger cousin and him aren't that close, but they certainly get along when they see each other at family gatherings. He goes back home, he gets together with his cousin, the cousin shows him the picture of her because he's never met her before, and lo and behold, she looks awfully familiar. Well, it turns out that this guy, a couple years earlier, when he was at home over the holidays and not seeing the cousin, he was at a party, New Year's Eve, something like that, and hooked up with a girl. And guess what? It was the girl in the picture, the girl that his cousin is marrying. No freaking joke. He writes into me and asks all you guys as well as me, what the hell should I do? Should I keep it quiet? Or should I tell the cousin that 2 years ago I banged the chick you're marrying? And of course, we all said you have to tell him. Because if you don't tell him and he finds out later on, he's really going to be hurt, blah, blah, blah. And I pointed something else out as well as you guys that, hey, you know what? 2 years is an awful short period of time for them to meet and get married. It's possible that she was with him back then. You just don't know this, and you unknowingly hooked up with a girl who was in a relationship. Well, the story continues in the future videos, and he finds out, yes, they were together then, so she was cheating on him with him. So he has to tell him. He tells the cousin. Obviously, the cousin's very hurt by this, but the cousin ends the marriage, ends the engagement. They didn't get married yet. And it's a giant SHIT storm, as you can imagine. The drama, the crying, the tears from her friends, the cousin being texted and yelled at over this. And worse, this guy's cousin here, the one who was getting married, his sister knew all along. Yeah, it's crazy. So anyhow, guys, here we are. Long recap, but it's been 6 months. The guy's writing in with an update on what's been going on, some revelations, things that are going on with the cousin, the girl, all that type of thing, which is not going to surprise you at all. So I figured I'd cover it today because a lot of you guys took interest in that guy's story. And frankly, I was kind of wondering what happened. So he says here, hey SSM, it's been a while and I hope you're all good and doing well. In case it slipped your mind, I'm the guy who wrote to you about my dilemma and my involvement with my cousin's fiancé. There's been some development after I left to rejoin my active duty. So a week ago, I received a call from my cousin. I was actually surprised to see his name flashing on my phone, as I haven't heard from him at all in these last few months, while I did hear from irrelevant people trying with different phone numbers. Yeah, I think where it ended, his cousin obviously was in a bad place, but not blaming him, but his cousin's recovering now. No, by the way, guys, I forgot to mention something. His cousin, from what was described here, was the classic nice guy. I mean, I don't think he had a lot of girlfriends before her. Clearly, she was settling with a guy who was a sure thing, a provider, all that. Yeah. Well, my cousin and I talked, and he thanked me again for telling him about all these things and saving him from the marriage that would have been a disaster had he gone through with it. I said, yeah, you're my bro, and that was the right thing to do. You're darn right it was the right thing to do, and I'm so glad you did it. I'm glad you listened to us. After we talked for a while, he dropped the news that I already suspected, and you guys suspected as well. His sister knew about his ex-fiancé all along. Not only did she not tell him, she actively helped her hide it from him. Holy crap. I suspected this. I mean, that's despicable. His freaking sister knew about it and encouraged this? Well, listen to this. Well, let me explain here. It happened that my cousin finally agreed to meet his ex-fiancé to talk, as he too wanted some answers that were supposedly bothering him. Smack! That's a terrible idea. That's only just, I mean, if he had to do it for closure, which I never get, fine, I guess, but that could have gone the wrong way, and her waterworks would have roped him back in. We all knew she'd be roping him. It tried to rope him back in. As per him, she came clean, and I call bullshit on that. The real numbers are still not out. Anyway, she told him that his sister, let's just call her B, even though she's my cousin, had known for a while and encouraged her to live her life before settling down. Because she, his sister, is a divorcee, knows how marriage binds a woman's freedom. Marriage binds a woman's freedom, and yet these same women whose freedom is bound want to get married and are encouraging and browbeating and manipulating the guys to propose to them. They're complaining about what they want, but binding their freedom. How about the guy? The guys aren't out there banging women that are married. I mean, they shouldn't be. They're not complaining about their freedom being bound. And notice, by the way, the fiancé is already casting blame on others for her actions. There also included a video. One of B's friends sent her of a time where he captured the ex-fiancé with some guy at a club, hand in hand, about 3 months before this supposed wedding. B, at that time, told the friend that she would talk to her brother, which she apparently never did, and instead told the ex-fiancé about it. What a freaking snake. I would, if I'm your cousin, I'd be done with his sister for life. Why have a relationship with her? She's a piece of garbage. But notice he said that she, obviously very young, has been divorced already. Misery loves company. Well, she revealed that she slept with 8 dudes, including me, in the span of their 4.5 years of relationship. I feel bad for your cousin. What a bitch. But you know what? I'm not quite buying that 8 guys thing. I'm sure there's a lot more than that. He says bullshit again, which I told my cousin that he would never get the exact number out of her. I agree. There is no way the cousin here is going to get all the truth. But you know what? He's done with her, so it really is irrelevant. Whether she fucked one guy, no offense, or 100. Although that would be, if I'm your cousin, I would have gotten an STI check. So now just forget it and move on with a life, to which he agreed to. He said that the confrontation with his sister was total chaos. He yelled at her, called her names, which my favorite was a leech and a cheat with no life and no job, just leeching off Dad's money, and there were some other ones. Well, I'd be calling her a lot bigger words than a leech. I'd be calling her a word that begins with a C and rhymes with bunt, because that's exactly what she is. His sister had no defense because the cards were all open in front of her and she couldn't deny anything. Wow, that's interesting. Their parents also were extremely disappointed and furious at her. She has gotten the ultimatum to find a job within a year or she'll be out of the house. A year? A year to find a fucking job? How about more like a month to find a job? Okay, if it's like a career type of job, okay, maybe a couple months, but a fucking job? Come on here. While any kind of communication between my cousin and B is totally non-existent now, my cousin said he does not think that he's ever going to talk to her again, and also how much time it's going to take for him to trust another woman. Your cousin is never going to look at women the same after this whole thing, ever. And frankly, he shouldn't. That's protecting himself. None of you guys who listen to these stories all the time should look at women in a way you did prior to hearing these types of stories. You have to be on your guard. Doesn't mean they're all going to behave like this, of course not, but a hell of a lot do, in varying degrees. He asked where he went wrong. And I told him that although his relationship with his ex was long, he definitely missed all the red flags, dealt with all the unnecessary tantrums, and most importantly, didn't question her at all. If he still wants to know in detail, then I told him to just write his perspective down and send it to you, as he'll get to know all the mistakes he made with smacks as a bonus, to which he laughed and said he might just do that. He should write me. He asked me if I will ever consider marriage. Yeah, right. Honestly, I might consider marriage, but it would take one crazy bitch, literally a bitch bite to my ass, and make me go crazy. Only then there's some possibility. So there it is. I was actually contemplating whether to send you this update or not, as it's not big or dramatic. But then again, I just decided to send it to you. Have a good day, SSM. Oh, bro, I'm glad you wrote in. I was wondering about you. I mean, I always think about you guys, particularly the ones that write in these multiple updates and everything, what's going on. But I got to say this, a couple things. Number one, I know your cousin's going to watch this. So, cousin, yes, you should write in your story. I don't want what happened to you to ever happen again. So it's very important that I'm sorry what you went through. I said this before in previous videos, but it took a lot of strength to get rid of her because a lot of guys wouldn't. So I give you major credit for that. But obviously getting together with someone like that and having her fool you as long as she did, you need work. So I'd recommend when you're ready, of course, write down your story. Write down your story, not just how you met her and all the different things you went through and things looking back now you see as red flags and revelations of her character, but about your childhood and things like that. And be honest. And by being honest, obviously you weren't exactly the ladies' man and the bad boy getting all the girls growing up. That will help reveal some things to me that I can point out in your story, your life story here, that can help me and help you. And of course your story with her, because I guarantee you, as your cousin who wrote in the story shared, there were lots of red flags in her part. I mean, if she was hooking up that many dudes, and like your cousin here, I hate to bring this up, but he met her on New Year's Eve or something like that, if I recall. Where the hell were you New Year's Eve? You were probably wanting to be that guy that wasn't controlling, didn't want to be that guy and let her go out and be with her girlfriends. These are things that led to a lot of problems, And so I think if you share your story and you're honest with me, I can jump in. The guys in the comments section can jump in, although that's a tough thing to share your story with the world. But of course, you'll remain anonymous. And I think at the end of the day, by you sending that in, I can help you out. Because obviously, you're a relationship type of guy. It could be a very long time before we get into that. But I want you to be able to work on yourself, work on things that need improvement. And in time, you can get to be at a place that you can hopefully attract a much better, decent human being, a decent woman you can be with, and know how to handle her, handle yourself. And that way this never happens again. I mean, there's no guarantees in this life, of course, but you writing in and then working on yourself and reflecting on what you learned, that could definitely greatly improve your odds. Because a lot of times guys end up attracting the same type of women, even though they've been through hell with previous ones before. And to the cousin writing in the story, I appreciate your update, bro, and I hope you do well. And no, I don't think you're going to get married ever again. Why the hell would you? I mean, seriously. You want female companionship, and a lot of guys do. Okay, doesn't mean you got to marry them. Now, certainly in time, they're going to want a ring on their finger, and that's when you can say, hey, I enjoy hanging out with you. We're having a great time, but that's just not what I'm going to do. And you have to accept the reality that they're going to eventually part ways, whether they're bluffing or not, and then move on. And you find another chick to hang out with until the same fucking thing happens, and then you're an old man and don't care. But we shall see. All right, guys, that's it for today. Again, it was a quick one, but I just wanted to give this guy, let him be heard, say his little update here because I was curious. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.